Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Thinking is Hard, and we're doing another session of Thinking Out Loud. So, really quickly here, let's just recap everything interesting I did since the last episode. That didn't take very long. Alright, so, Starcraft. The main thing about this channel, I want to talk a bit about that. I watched the video Maximus Black posted on YouTube about sleep joining Check 6. I'll post a link in the description for you guys. However, I was watching it, and it really inspired me. I was only... it was only a minute long, and it only showed him playing for about 20 seconds. However, the impact of that video and how it was put together, the commentary that you were able to hear, the music in the background, it all really worked very well with each other. It all synced up really nicely. It was put together amazingly well by Jeff, Maximus Black, and it really inspired me that, I myself want people to know who I am, and I want people to want me to know who they are. I want to be at that level as a gamer. And, it is a really long and it's a difficult road to travel. I mean, right now, considering my YouTube channel, I only have 16 subscribers, and I already get some hate on myself. I already do get some, things posted in my inbox that I don't particularly love to see, but hey, it's okay. I guess bad news is better than no news. But, like Nova War told me, you just need to be persistent. And it's true, however, I feel like there needs to be more than that. Like, it's not you just need to be persistent. I think it should be more, you just need to be persistent and determined and, have the will and be passionate about it. If you aren't loving what you're doing, how is anyone else supposed to come to your channel and be like, yes, I enjoy this very much. This is relevant to my interests. But enough of that. I'm currently in my second semester of college, and, well, it's not so great. Not like my grades or anything. That jingling is probably my watch. Throwing my hands everywhere, giving you guys the nice hand motions that people do when they're talking, like, look at this, and they throw their arms around everywhere. You can't see that, I don't have a webcam. But, it's not like a grade issue. It doesn't, like, suck. It's just like a school issue. School always sucks. I mean, it's the second week already, and I'm swamped with homework. How do I have time to sit here and talk to you? Fine, ladies and gentlemen, a man has to make time for what's important. This semester, I am taking Bio 122, English 103, College Algebra and Trig, Intro to Programming, and Interpersonal Communications. But you guys aren't here to listen to me talk about college. No. You're here to listen to me talk about Starcraft and my playthroughs. I hope that's why you're here. Captain's Log, January 30th, 2012. Gold League, still. However, it is getting better. Facing only Platinum or top 5 gold players on a massive winning streak. Winning. I like winning, however, I also really dislike winning. It's really hard to explain. I want to see myself rise in the ranks, but I feel like I don't learn as much through winning as I do through losing. And that's, that's obvious. No one learns as much through winning as they do through losing, but that's where it actually gets into a metagame kind of sense. It's clear that you won, however, what isn't clear is, did you win in a specific way that you tend to prefer? Did you use the same logic and reasoning that you used the last time you were in the same situation? The metagame is like literally talking about beyond the game, or rather the psychological aspect of the game. I'm not sure if you're here for big, lengthy, intellectual talk about Starcraft. If you're not, you should get out now, because this affects, gonna say that a third time, hopefully it might be right the third time, this affects the pros much more than the casual players. And that's not meant to offend the lower league players. This isn't meant to, be a verbal blow at them, tell them that they're bad. It's not that. It's just that, here, let me explain. you're not likely to have players watching your replays if you're in the lower leagues to see if they can spot any sort of patterns in your playstyle. Do you prefer to use Muta to get out of a certain situation? We'll call the situation X. What that tells the player is if he puts you into situation X, you will most likely switch into Muta to get out of it because he's watched your replays and you've successfully gotten out of situation X several times by using Muta. Switching to Muta has always caught your opponent. You know, maybe not always, but most of the time you're fairly secure. It's your little toy. It's a security blanket. You carry it around with you. It's nice. It's comfortable. It smells like it did when you were 2 years old. You just really like it. Sometimes you grab it and you just hold it against yourself just to feel its warmth because you love it so much. But his job is to then find an adaptation of his build that allows him to put you into situation X and then to defeat the Muta that he's fairly certain that you will switch to. By fairly certain, I mean you might not, you might decide not to, but if it's your preferred method, if it's what's gotten you out of most of your situations, he will most likely use that adaptation because you will most likely use your Mutas. Now, this will hurt you because he's going to find an adaptation that will not only beat off the Muta, but then finish you. That's the main point. He isn't looking just to defeat the Muta and survive and see what else you can throw at him. He's looking to defeat the Muta at a specific timing, quickly switch from what he was doing into something else, defeats the Muta, and ends the game. Because he wants to defeat you, that's all he cares about. Now, this will get you frustrated because every time you've been in situation X, you've gotten out of it using your Mutas. And now you're frustrated because you have to think about what else are you going to use to get out of situation X, because Muta isn't going to work. If you go for Muta, then he's just going to go for the same thing. And this is where it becomes like a meta game, where you're sitting there and maybe you think, well, maybe I'll go to Muta again because he won't be expecting me to go to Muta because I just lost to it, so why would I do it? So he won't be prepared for that. He'll be ready for something else. Who knows? It's a really dangerous slope. And there's no clear, you cannot anticipate every single outcome. Eventually, you might go, no, he will not. I'll give a real life example. First I'll explain what. You might think, no, there's no way he's going to do that. It's way too stupid. There's just no way. Real life example. A light was blown in the freezers of the place I work. Now, I was just over there and I saw it, and I saw the frozen dairy manager looking at it, and she was like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna have to go find another light. And then she's like, but I don't even think we carry lights for that. And I looked directly at the light switch for that specific case, and I thought to myself, no, there's no way. There's no way she didn't try that. I'm not even going to bother. It's way too obvious. It's way too simple. Why even waste my time? I'll just, hey, I'll help you try to find another light bulb. Let's look at its watts and whatever, its dimensions, all of that funny junk, and see if we can find one. And then we come back, and the store manager is laughing at both of us for being idiots, and because he just turned on the light switch, and that was the only thing that was wrong, was it was turned off. Now, obviously, I felt annoyed because, I can't just explain to him, hey, I actually thought that that's what it was. I just also thought that, no, that's way too simple. It must have already been attempted. I'm not even going to waste my time. Who was going to believe that? But anyway, going back to Starcraft, we covered winning and how hard it is to gather information about what you need to do better after you've won a game. Because when you win a game, you really don't think about, oh no, I need to do things better. You think, hell yeah, I just kicked ass. Losing, though, losing teaches you so much. Everyone knows this, but I'll go through it. What did you do wrong? That's the first thing you need to answer right there. What did you do wrong? Then it proceeds like a flowchart. Was that what lost you the game? If yes, was there anything else you did wrong? Sometimes you see the mistake 2 minutes in, sometimes you see it 5 times in, sometimes you have to go through to the very last 3 minutes just to see the one spot where you lost. I played one game nigh flawlessly. I think I chronoed my probes perfectly. I had my resources managed at a level that is not Gold League. It's much higher than that. But then, because of mutas, I lost the game. I had my high temps ready to deal with it, but I'd never used Storm against muta before in my life. So, I go to fight off the muta with my storms, and I cast 3 storms really quickly, thinking just wipe his muta right out of there, and I found out that the hitbox can sometimes be placed in a way that isn't exactly where the image is of the muta. There's more like a shadow on the ground closer to you. And I played Warcraft 3, I've had this happen to me before. I was actually thinking about it when I cast those. I mean, I can say that, you can believe me or not, but I was actually thinking about it. I just didn't feel like that was going to happen. And it did, and it really sucked because, well, that cost me the game. One storm succeeding was all I needed. Just one storm succeed, and everything would have gone wonderfully for me. There would have been no problems at all. I would have won the game. I would have defeated the muta, won the game, proceeded. I would have been happy. But I hit the storm wrong. That's the only thing I did wrong. Whatever. It happens. I had to get over it and then continue to play. But, that's just one game I lost. And, there's other things you need to think about. It's, like, every time I lose a game in a 1 versus 1, I immediately go and watch the replay to see what I did wrong. A lot of the times it's really not that obvious. Was I upgrading too soon? That can have a massively bad impact. Like, come on. A lot of times you're like, wait, upgrading lost me the game? What? This doesn't make sense. But it can. It's like, oh no. I upgraded, but didn't get the units out, so he had so many more units, it made my upgrades, well, pretty much worthless. Sure, I was hitting more, but he had more units. Doesn't matter. Shit happens. So, well, then what's next? Could you have canceled your expansion? Would that have helped you? How were you doing before you canceled the expansion? How were you doing after you canceled the expansion? You have to really look at this stuff. Did I not, have my scouting done properly? If I'd had my observer, because I'm a Protoss player, did I have my observer placed where I needed it to be placed? If I had it placed right there, would I have had time to react and win? Stuff like that. It's... There's thousands of questions you can ask, and the point is to get as many of those answers to those questions as you can. But enough of this thinking stuff. God damn. Let's talk about something else. Well, playing Cube, that's been fun. Going back to the college, I found out that I have an amazing amount of bandwidth at that college. I got a flash drive this semester. I'm placing like 25-minute videos on that flash drive, taking them to college, uploading them there. Hey, I'm happy. You guys should be happy too. These videos, these ones here, the ones I'm giving you right now, this is like my podcast type thing. I talk to you for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. It doesn't matter. However long I talk to you guys, I can put that up on my channel, because it doesn't go with gameplay footage, because my bandwidth is too low, and I'm probably not going to put it with gameplay footage for quite a while, not until I'm probably living on my own, or I have massive bandwidth here. Whatever. Going on, let's talk about, I've been playing Spiral Knights as my game to go to when I'm not recording, because, well, one, obviously I don't record my Starcraft live. That was an issue with Windows. I got that fixed. It's activated and validated now. You know, everything's fine. But yeah, so that's fine. I can now record my Starcraft live. Not sure if I want to. You guys, if you're watching this, you gotta let me know. You gotta let me know in those comments below. Send me a PM. I don't know. You just gotta let me know somehow. Somehow, let me know. Do you want me to do it live? Remember, if I do it live, I'm not gonna be talking as much. You're gonna have a lot of periods where I'm concentrating because I'm not that great yet. So I'm gonna be concentrating, and you're just really just going to be watching me play for the most part, probably for the first few until I get into the swing of things. I'm probably going to be talking in the beginning about what I'm, doing, what I'm trying to do, but at some point in time, I will slip and I will stop talking and I'll start playing. It happens when I try to record live. That's what happens to me. It happens in my Batman playthrough. If I'm sitting there and I'm in like a hard fight, I'll be sitting there and I'll be throwing my punches and I'll be trying to do trick shots for you people, and it's ended up getting me killed a lot. But I'm trying to make it entertaining to watch, because no one wants to just watch me, oh, look, he's just using the same freaking moves to beat the opponent down. No, I want to sit there and, like, punch one person and then, use 3 of my, like, tech items, my gadgets and stuff, and then punch another person and another person, and, counter someone epically, dodge somewhere, use some more gadgets. I want it to be really interesting to watch. Like, holy cow, so much is happening. How is he doing all that? I don't know. He's playing this on hard. Did you guys know I'm playing this on hard? I'm playing everything on hard because I hate life. Yes, give me a big hell yeah if you think that I'm a dumbass. Well, I'm gonna give myself a hell yeah for that. But, so, my Spiral Knights is the game of my choice for when I'm, bored. I don't have enough hard drive space to record. I like to have at least 500 gigabytes of free space before I record again. I'm almost there. I'm probably gonna start recording soon. I'm not sure if I want to record more Cube or more Batman. I'm not sure which draws more of an audience right now. It looks like my Batman draws more of an audience, but the Cube is the newer game, so it's whatever. But saying a lot of buts. However, same thing as but, just different words. However, wow. I hate that. I try to go off on like 100 different conversational paths at the same time, and in the end, I'm all like, damn it. I actually can't speak that many words at once. Well, what I was trying to say about 30 seconds ago is, after my Batman or Cube playthrough, whichever finishes first, probably my Cube, I think my Cube's gonna finish first. After whichever one of those is finished, I'm gonna need another game to start recording. The StarCraft 2 campaign is not deep sixth, but it is on the back burner. Almost everything StarCraft related was on the back burner, except for the Quest Platinum, because of the Windows issue where I couldn't record it live. Now that I can, well, things are looking a lot better. I do prefer what I'm doing now. I'm recording in Audacity. I haven't done this in a long time. Usually I'm recording with Fraps lately. I'm not a huge fan of the audio that comes out of that. I much prefer to use this audio. I really love it. However, I just don't have the settings on my computer to be able to record both Fraps and my own audio with Audacity. I would have to lower my StarCraft to low graphics quality. You'll have to let me know if that's an issue. Like, is that an issue? Is that something that is okay with people. You know, do you mind watching, you know, I mean, it's still going to be in 1080p, but, you know, the settings in actual StarCraft are going to be on probably low or medium, not ultra. So that's going to happen. I could do the same thing for a little stutter there. I could do the same thing for Batman and well, I can't do the same thing for Batman. That's a reason that the Batman playthrough is going again. Is I figured out a way to pull my audio off of Fraps and actually put it into Audacity, and that's what I'm sure you've known this if you've watched my Batman playthroughs at all. But that's why I've been doing. That's how I've been able to record Cube and Batman. Is my computer just cannot handle Fraps and Audacity at the same time with a video game, so it requires me to pull the audio off of Fraps. I am stuck with doing that for most of my games and playthroughs. However, when I'm done, I started talking about this 3 minutes ago, but when I'm done with one of those playthroughs, I'm considering playing through I Want to Be the Guy on hard. You gotta let me know if that's something you want to watch, or if there's something else. I was trying to see if I could play the world's hardest game, you know, from, like, it's a browser-based game, but for some reason, I can't see my Fraps counter showing up there. I'd have to fiddle with it a little bit, see if I could get Fraps to work with it. If I could, would you like to see I Want to Be the Guy or the world's hardest game? I'm gonna die a lot. I'm gonna get pissed off, you know. It'll be like watching The Raging Gamer. I'm not sure if that's an actual thing or if it's just what people say, but, you know, it will be pretty angry me. You'll have Mr. Thinking's Hard all pissed off and going, "This is fucking bullshit. What the fuck? Fuck, piss." You know, for the longest time, fuck was my favorite swear word, and it still is, but for a while there, piss. That was my go-to curse word. It was just, like, correct. Like, you're really pissed off, you know, you're in a spot where you could say fuck, no one would care, you go piss, people look at you and they're like, wow, what a nice person. But, yeah. So anyway, that's enough of that. Spiral Knights, it's an interesting game. It's, I can't really say it's difficult, but it's also not, like, incredibly easy. It's somewhere in between. It's really hard to describe. Like, the controls in it aren't horrible, but they're not great. And I don't know. I'm just not a massive fan of the game. I like it. It kills my time and it gives me something to do, but I don't like it so much that it's what I want to do all the time. It's not something that's going to be like one of my top 10 games. Starcraft is still my go-to game. I've deep sixed World of Warcraft. I am done with that game. Sure, I was respected in the rated battleground community of my realm. My realm knew me. My realm responded to me. I was a leader, and I was known as a good leader. I liked that. It made me feel really good to know that I could log in and have people who specifically wanted to play with me. I don't have that in StarCraft. All I have is my sister's fiance. He's a fun guy. He is. He's just not on as much as I would like him to be. But with college starting up, I'm not on as much as I would like to be too. So I don't know. It's a bad situation for me to be in. Batman, another game I would love to play. I do not have the hard drive space to record as much as I would want of it. Also, my CPU, I can only do one thing of Sony Vegas at a time, and I have to close out everything else. I need an upgrade, but I have to wait. I have to wait until probably past this financial aid distribution, probably maybe even like this fall. I'm not sure, but I would like to upgrade my CPU, get it to be, an Intel. I might need a new motherboard. I'd like to get a second graphics card. I'd like to upgrade from 4 gigabytes of RAM to either 8 gigabytes of dual channel RAM, or fuck it and just get 16 gigabytes of RAM. I'd like to have a 120 gigabyte SSD for my operating system, and that was a really difficult way to say operating system, but I'd like to have my operating system and like my core video games on an SSD, and I'd like to have 3 terabytes of hard drive space for my video games, for the recordings from Fraps. So, just because about, depends on the game, but for like Batman, 40 gigabytes is about 20 minutes of gameplay. So 400 gigabytes, 100 minutes. That's an hour and 40 minutes. So 800 gigabytes, 3 hours and 20 minutes. 800 gigabytes. Jeez. But seeing as my record right now, like not my record, my editing takes so long, I don't know. I just want 3 terabytes. I don't even care if it's excessive. I want it. I would like to sit down, play Batman for 5 hours, record everything, go play Cube for 3 hours, record everything, play some Starcraft, record everything, and then sit there and be like, hey, I just recorded, like, 1.5 terabytes worth of stuff. Damn. Look at me. I'm amazing. Look at my hard drive space, isn't it amazing? I'm gonna stop right there before copyright infringement and stuff like that. But, yeah. I think that's about all I really want to talk about right now. If anyone, knows a really good CPU and a really good cooling combination, because keep in mind, I'm gonna be taxing the shit out of this. I need it to be cool. I need this CPU to be able to edit, to have 2 things of Sony Vegas running, to have Starcraft running while doing that. I want to be able to play a video game while not editing, but rendering. I want 2 renders going, and I want to be able to play Starcraft. I want to have my browser open all at the same time. I need a CPU, I need the graphics card, I need the RAM to do so. You guys, whoever listens to this, please let me know. Start getting up components. Should I get another GeForce GTX 560 Ti, NVIDIA graphics card, and SLI the double, or should I just get a completely new card? Would it be worth it? Would it increase the graphics more than SLI would for roughly the same price? Would, because remember, my budget, very low. Poor college student, very poor. Don't know how I'm going to get the gas to go there right now. Not sure. We're going to work that out. But come March 2nd, financial aid, everything will be fine. That's what I'm living for, baby. 1 month, 3 days. That's the goal. But let me know about everything I've asked you to know. Let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Thinking's Hard. This has been our 2nd session of Thinking's Out Loud. It's gone much better than our first session. I'm very proud with this. I hope you guys enjoyed every minute of it. It's been 30 minutes of great fun. Well, it hasn't been 30 minutes yet, but it will be soon. Well, and my time's off. I forgot about the whole, white noise thing I do in the beginning. But hey, whatever. It's no big deal. It's been basically half an hour of fun enjoyment. Starcraft, Batman, Cube, computers, everything this channel is about. Everything you, ladies and gentlemen, like to listen to. I hope. This is Thinking's Hard. Thinking's Out Loud number 2. And I am out of here. Goodbye.